What is up, guys? I'm Kyle at Fortune, and today we're talking about smogging the YJ. Oh. Yeah, so I'm kind of talking about this like it's the great YJ Smog adventure. So the first time in this vehicle's life, this is a 93, so it's been a while. First time that it hasn't passed smog. Not a huge deal. I think we're gonna be able to figure it out pretty quick, but I wanna talk about a bunch of reasons why a YJ might not pass, just from all the reading and then also the experience I have with it. I'm gonna document this to see if it can help out anyone else. All right, so let's talk about some reasons why this might not be passing. Well, let's back up a second. The first reason is that the NO is way off the charts with this thing. It's up in the gross polluter category. The things that I'd really be looking for in this once it gets to that level is carbon buildup, any big swings in temperature. It might just be getting too hot. We're going to look for oxygen sensors that might need to be replaced. And then we're also going to look at the exhaust for how clean it is, and, and if there's any gaps. I'm narrowing it down to what the most likely thing is first, and then we'll go down the line like that. The first thing for this, I think it's the carbon buildup. This thing, as far as I know, hasn't ever had any engine treatment ran through it, but there has been a lot of other maintenance on there. I think it just has a ton of carbon in it. I think that's what's causing that heat. So we're going to do the easiest thing first. Went to go fill up some gas. We threw in some of this. It's the sea foam. I'm sure you've heard a ton about this. I've actually never used it. I've never really needed to do any fuel treatment. This YJ's got about 142,000 miles on it, so it's getting up there, and that's about the time I would try to do a fuel treatment on an engine. What I did is I just put in basically a little bit under an ounce of seafoam for every gallon of gas. I didn't need a special funnel or anything. I kind of just popped it in there like that, drank it all up. And then now we're gonna go take her for a spin. We're gonna try to run that seafoam through there. I know that a lot of people have reported the exhaust just putting out all kinds of white smoke and freaking everybody out. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Grabbing some coffee en route, and it's so funny driving the YJ. It's just so nostalgic. It reminds me of my first one when these things are sprung under and they have a lift spring on them. The ride is so rough and bouncy, it's crazy. It's like sitting on the school bus on that seat that's like right over the rear tire. It makes for a heck of an adventure when you're like going down these rough country roads and stuff. And then because I have this locker in the rear making tight turns in parking lots, it sounds like I'm kind of peeling out, so everybody's freaking out around me like, this guy's shooting out white smoke, he's peeling out in the parking lot, he's probably a drug addict, just look at him. All right, so we've got about 200 miles on the seafoam now. I've been running it pretty hard trying to get everything cleaned out in that system, and we didn't really see any gray smoke or anything, so not really sure what that means. Hopefully we did clean out any deposits that might be in there, but now that all that gunk is done going through, we're going to try to do just a regular tune-up. So we're going to hit up the distributor cap, new rotor, spark plug wires. We're going to do an oil change. Then we're going to look at the oxygen sensor that is upstream, and we're going to go from there.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Right, this is the Duralast wire set that we got. It's 4314. So what I'm going to do is just swap these all out one for one. So I've got mine all laid out from shortest to longest. We're just going to try to match them up that way and do a one for one swap. That way we don't get them mixed up. And then from there, we can put the new distributor cap and rotor on. Lastly, for this part, we'll put the new spark plugs in. Here's our new distributor cap and rotor. This is part F2115G. All right, so we got them loosened up. We're just gonna put some dielectric grease on these, and then we're just gonna swap them over one to one. You can see there's a rounded edge and the squared edge. We'll just make sure they match. The squared edge needs to go forward like that. So we'll just start swapping them over. Doesn't look too bad, but we're here. Start her up again, make sure everything's working. Route some of these wires. All right, so we know something was definitely off with that cylinder number one spark plug. It was loose. I hope that's just it. It came loose in there, because we definitely don't want anything getting stuck in there or stripped out. Spark plug time. These are the ones we picked up. They are the Champion Copper. Part number for these is 412. Check the gap on all these. It's supposed to be 0.035. A lot of these were, you know, kind of in the 40 range. I just used one of the cheap little AutoZone gauges and made sure it was close. Not sure how important the gap is on a vehicle this old, but definitely want to take everything out of the equation. So for these, we're going to need the 5/8 spark plug socket. This is number 1. Definitely wasn't seated all the way in there, but the threads look fine. Start her up and see if I messed anything up.
It sound right, boys.
Fresh distributor cap, rotor, wires, plugs. Looking at the old plugs, they actually look pretty good. They just look old. And that's switching from the Autolite spark plugs to the Champion copper, so hopefully there's an improvement. NTK oxygen sensor 23023. This is the one you want to get, not the OEM replacement. Unclip the connector. Got the O2 sensor socket with the slit for the wire. We can get this thing loose. Oh yeah, actually came out. Woohoo! Oh man, looks a lot different. Man, that thing looks old. Finger tight, and then you go 1/2 to 3/4 turn past that. Alright, my clip's worn out up there, but it's okay. Plastic tab back through. So this wire up here, easy enough. Alright, while we're down here, we might as well get the oil draining. 7/8 drain plug's pretty big. We've got more constantly roll car. So take the cap off to help it drip out better. Yep, oil looks pretty black. Good refresher. Get some oil in there. Of course, the wind starts kicking up right when I'm doing this.
It sound right, boys.
All right, for the oil filter, we're using the STP, the basic one. You can see it only says 5,000 miles on it, S3614. And we're pairing that up with some STP 10W30 high mileage. We're going with STP products because they're the cheapest. On these old trucks, I usually change the oil out every 3,000 miles. Sometimes sooner if something's going on like this, but no reason to put the extra fancy oil in there. I would have got just the regular STP black can, but they were out, so I went the high mileage stuff. All right, so we got to put 6 quarts in this bad boy. So all of these prices that I'm referencing are from finding these parts online. So I'll put some links in the description. If you want to do it on Amazon, you can get these parts for much cheaper. I tried to go for the highest quality parts I could get. If you go to a parts store, you're probably going to get all this stuff for way cheaper. But like I said, if you want to piece it all out, do it all online, you can definitely do this for less than 150 bucks still. All right, let's see how she's doing. Reading safe right now. I think what we'll do is we'll probably drive it around a little bit. Keep that quart in the Jeep. Let's see how this air filter's looking. Oh yeah. Looks really good. All right, it's smog day. We're about to go hit our appointment. Yeah, the mustache is gone. I know, guys. Real sad. Everybody likes me with the mustache. I just look so handsome with it, but you know, it comes and goes. You're lucky when you have it. You got to learn to appreciate it. So we're gonna go hit this smog up. Really hope it passes. This whole thing was like a really minor process. You know, it's just a tune-up. Really, it's something you're gonna want to do on your truck, regardless if you've got to get it smogged or not. So overall, I think everything went pretty well. I'm optimistic about it. I mean, it sounds like it kind of just had something going on lately that made it fail smog. So let's do it. The good news is the YJ did a little bit better on the smog test this time. Actually dropped like 200 ppm on both the categories that we were worried about, but the bad news is didn't pass. It's still pretty high. At least now it's gone from gross polluter to just a fail. Got some things to figure out. There's gonna be a part 2 to this one because we've got to troubleshoot some stuff, and if you want to join us on that, don't forget to subscribe. You'll see when that video comes out. If you have any ideas on what we should do to the YJ to help it pass smog, post them down in the comments. I know a lot of people are gonna say get a new cat. There's obviously something bigger than that though, you know, it's something that's already wrecked the cat. So we could put a new cat on there, that'd be great. It's gonna be super expensive, and then we might pass Smog like that, but the problem is there's still something wrong with the engine. Help me come up with some ideas to get this thing to pass, and thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.